Hello everyone, welcome back to the Battle of Baren Farm here. It's the boot camp scenario for combat infantry. Wow, well I posted my initial thoughts on this scenario a couple of weeks ago, and I shared a link to the Facebook page for combat infantry. It's like wooden blocks, combat infantry wooden blocks fan, something like that on Facebook. They had this scenario. And a couple of folks, we had pointed out that maybe the company headquarters was missing from the American assets, and the map set up here showed the bottom half, but none of that matched the description of the scenario. So after I posted a link to my first thoughts on the scenario, bam, I noticed that there's a point 2 updated, which includes Alpha Company headquarters, and it even has in the deployment setup that you can put that company headquarters next to a platoon headquarters adjacent, and you're good. And then the map shows now the entire length of the map, height, whatever you want to call that. You're just using half of it though, which is cool because, there it is, when I'm playing, I was actually playing on this before, before I got that update. And I was only using this half anyway. Everything kind of set up on this half, so we just pushed up. No need to really go around. So this worked out good. Let me just shift here. So this is actually the end of turn 4. Americans are slowly pushing forward. We've taken some casualties, but the Germans have definitely suffered a lot more. We did an assault. I had a sniper in this hex over here. But this squad was able to move in and flushed him out. We've got, a lot happened here. This was a full-strength American infantry squad at the start of the turn, but they did an assault into this town hex to try and take out these mortar tubes, but they got decimated. Let me put that back at strength 1. So basically what happened is they assaulted in with the mortars. Mortars attack at full strength on the first combat round of assault, and then after that it's firepower 1. In this mortar, they are firepower 5. So basically the Americans charged in, the defender rolls their attack dice first, and I rolled 3 hits. So that reduced that entire American squad down to 1 strength point. So when it was their turn to attack, then they only had 1 dice to roll, and first they had to make a morale check. They passed the morale, failed their attack roll. Then on the second round of combat, the German player, the tubes got reduced to 1 firepower. They failed to score that last hit. The American player passed the morale 1 more time, and then I think at the time before other things shifted. Oh, yeah. That's something else that happened here. Or did it? It was here. Hold on, I'm trying to put some of these pieces back to where they were. Had him... Where did he come back? Did he come straight back? No, I must have had it like this. I think he came back here. Anyway, I don't do very good. I should take notes when I recap. But anyway, I couldn't retreat back up the hill simply because it's contested, right? They have area of influence here, area of influence here. That's not a friendly hex, so I couldn't come back. So if I remember, and I think this squad would be eliminated because stacking limits in a town. Well, let me see what stacking limit in a town. Stack is 2. Yeah, so I could push these guys back into this hex, town hex there, and we're good. So basically that American unit was really lucky to get out of there when they could. And then I don't think we did anything with this squad. They stay put. Oh, yeah, something like that. There was 1 more German squad over here we finally eliminated with an assault by the engineers. So basically we kind of have cleared a path here. I tried to get some stuff on the outside of the town, but those mortars are just devastating. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at now. I've got the platoon headquarters for the Germans here, their company command here. Because we only have so few units left, I didn't see the need to really press an attack. I mean, possibly I could move this pioneer unit out to assault somebody, and that's tough. This squad here is down to 2. I mean, they're having a tough time. I think the Americans would win this at some point, because I don't think the Germans have enough to really muster out an attack. You know, oh, they did attack. That's why they're laying down, and they shot and they caused a casualty on this block. That's why it's down to 3. I shouldn't shake them when I'm trying to show you stuff. All right, so they're kind of done. It'd be tough. Turn 5 would be a very interesting turn for the German player. Well, let's go ahead and do a turn 5. So this is the end. I would say, yeah, let's be bold real quick before we end the turn. And let's say the German player activates their company headquarters. They're going to activate this Pioneer Battalion asset who charges through the woods for a movement, and then has enough movement points to charge. Well, here's the thing. He can either charge the American engineers and do a little engineer on engineer action, or charge this full strength squad. They're going to charge the full strength squad because I think they can cause more damage here. So they move out and then they move in. They're coming. So this will be the last real... oh, actually they can't. Because now they're stuck. Yeah, see, because that's contested. They can't really charge. Yeah, you know, I think the German player is just kind of stuck and has to wait stuff to come for them. I mean, I can activate the mortar, but I don't have good line of sight to anybody, because the mortar tube, if they fire, the problem is they're going to cause possible friendly fire here on these adjacent units. They could cause some good damage here, maybe, but it's going to take 2 hits, which they could probably score a point of damage on somebody. But then I might put damage on danger close. Ah, boy. See, I just really cornered the German side into a really tight spot. I think we'll have to end it there. So let's say that's the end of the turn. So we put everybody up. I'm going to keep my Jeep face down. That way if he gets attacked, people have to... Oh, he doesn't have armor. So I guess I could flip the Jeep up. I'll just leave it down. Put everybody back up. Let's roll for initiative. So I like to roll a German player first. So we'll go German player gets a 6. American player gets a 4. So German will go first. The American player went first last turn. That's why they kind of did some good devastating stuff. But this time the German player will go. Now see, had I moved the Pioneer unit here, thus securing initiative on this, then I could have assaulted with them somewhere, but I didn't. Darn, that didn't quite work out the way I wanted. Let's see, yeah, the nice thing is when you play by yourself you can cheat a lot, so why don't we go ahead and move them here for purposes of showing you how fun assaulting can be. Let's say the German player did move those pioneers out earlier, not knowing that they would have initiative. Now we have initiative. I can activate either my platoon headquarter or the company commander. The activations alternate, so again it'd be kind of like I put these pioneers out here. It'd be a shame to have them get shot up by the Americans. So let's activate the company commander, who will activate this pioneer so he can assault. But if he loses this assault, well, that's tough. This guy, this is like a one-way mission. So he goes in. He can assault through the hex side of woods. 1 is fine. We're good. They're now in. We finished all other activations, and then assaults resolve last. Again, I don't want to shoot with the mortars. I think they'll actually be good there as a blocking force, and they're defended if someone shoots in. I do have this squad here of 2, but oh no, that's not a battalion. That's it. So the company asset there, It's just going to activate that Pioneer unit. All right, good. So we're done there. Now let's resolve. I'm just going to flip these up in case you can see the numbers and stuff there through the camera. Well, maybe I can zoom in just a little bit. And maybe just shift focus of the camera here a little bit. Let's just say like that. All right. Well, yeah, so this could be bad because Defender fires first. And then in Assault, Engineers have firepower 4. So this is probably, yeah, this was probably not a good thing. I probably should have attacked the Infantry. All right, so we attacked the Infantry. I'm trying to help the German player out here, okay? I did them bad up to this point. I'm going to give them a little help. All right, so the American is the Defender. So here, let's shift these down. All right, so I've got 4 American infantry squad there with firepower 2. So they're going to roll all 4 dice. Let's see if those show up for you on the camera. Nope, because I zoomed in. Well, if I shift these up, you can mostly see. All right, so what we ended up here is good for the American player. He got 1 hit because he's firepower 2, which means the attacking German engineer goes down 1 step, which is bad because now, as part of this assault, he's got to check for morale because he's got 1 strength point. He passes the morale roll. He rolled a 1. I zoomed in, so it's hard to get the dice rolls on camera here without knocking stuff over. So he's only got 1. Then he gets to return fire because he is feeling brave. Now, because he doubles his firepower as a firepower 4, maybe I can roll up here. Oh, he rolled a 10. So that was not a good result, which is why we did not move him up in the first place. See, there's a reason why we didn't move him up. I was just kind of demonstrating what assaults would look like in different circumstances. And so Pioneers, as I was demonstrating all along, are probably defend better in assaults than making assaults. I guess it depends on what you're doing. All right, so there we are. Again, not a whole lot for the German player to do. So he didn't activate the company. He's going to activate the platoon. Now, here's the thing though. With a platoon commander, he can activate all the squads attached to him and 1 adjacent unit here. So I could either fire the mortars, but again, danger close, don't want to fire them. Or I could activate the Pioneer and maybe move them out, and then either people could shoot at them or assault them if they're brave. So we'll move the Pioneer unit, because see now they're on the defense, right? So if people assault, then that German Pioneer unit now has a great chance to hurt people. But that also means that this full strength squad can just shoot at them. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. All that stuff we did with activating the company we'll ignore because it just isn't working out very good for the German player. So now we'll activate their squad here. It's only got 2. They're going to shoot into... Well, they're going to shoot... Either squad is bad. Both squads have 4 strength point. They're going to shoot at this full strength squad. Yeah, just to try and reduce it down a little bit. So they've got 2. They're adjacent, so they can see. And town is a D2, though, and it's not assaulting. So I have to score 2 hits to reduce that unit down. So let's see. I only scored 1 hit. If other combat was taking place, you actually retain that odd hit. But in this case, I have nothing else that will be able to shoot at that squad. So once I activate the next platoon headquarter, or if we were doing assaults, they would kind of heal that point back. So nothing happened there. I mean, trying very hard here to give the Germans a fighting chance. So now the Americans can activate either of their platoons or their company asset, which is down here off map because I zoomed in. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do a deployment with my platoon headquarters up into the woods because they get 1 deployment. So I'll deploy them 1. and I'm hoping that's what deploy means. I get to like get a move. That way they can kind of keep up with folks, so they're going to be adjacent to activate everything. They can activate this Pioneer, because that's an adjacent battalion asset, or the Jeep. They can activate the Jeep. The Jeep has pretty good firepower just by itself. So why don't we adjacently, first I flip him down, he's active. I'm going to adjacently move the Jeep up, because I can have 2 units in the open. So they have got 12 movement points, 2 movement points to move into a clear hex, but since we're on roads, it's 1. So moving up here is easy, and this is a open, clear terrain, so it has stack points of 2. So he's ready to do fighting in the near future. Since this is a face down unit normally, or a face up unit, I'm gonna put him face down to remind me that he moved. So he's done. This engineer unit is adjacent. Let's move. They can each actually assault, because they're coming in from different directions. Through a hex side, you can assault 1, and I think through clear you can assault up to 2. But this would meet the stack limit for the hex and give me a great amount of shots at trying to eliminate this engineer group. I'm not going to move. Yes, I will. I'm going to move this squad up 1. Here's why. Let me see. What's the stacking limit for woods real quick? Stack limit for woods, I think, is 1, maybe 2. Where's woods? I can't find. Okay, stack is 2. Here's why. If I lose with this assault and I have to retreat, I wouldn't be able to retreat to this hex because it's contested. But since I've moved a unit up into a contested hex, it's now a friendly hex. So I can retreat back to where my Jeep is or back into the woods. So I've now given these guys a buffer. Now that I've activated my assets here with my platoon commander, he gets a full turn. He's going to stay right there. Doesn't want to get involved in the combat, but yet is there to grace people with his presence. I could try to rally this group here, which we'll do. Let's see if we can do a rally. So rally is going to use the morale score of 6, and that is a guy in his platoon there. So yeah, commanded unit can gain 1 step back. That's an action. Rally action by passing a morale. So let's do that. He's got 2. Let's see if we can rally him back. Score of 6. Yep. So this is now going to be a strength 3 squad. We rallied some folks back, sent the medics, gave them some morphine. Now let's resolve the assault here. This is the assault I wanted to show you from the beginning. The German player is now on the defense, so he gets to attack first. He's at strength 2, or it's 2, but you double it for an assault with engineers, and he's got 2 steps. So that's 2 dice. I need to roll 4 or less to cause wounds. So I rolled a 4 and a 5. That's great. He does 1 point of damage because they're in the open. You always take it off of the highest guy first, so that squad took some fire damage from the flamethrower, I'm assuming they have. Now we get to do the attack as an attacker. I'm going to roll 3 for my squad. Yeah, I hope I'm doing assault right. You know, it's one of those things where you do it and then it's like you get to thinking, is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. Attacker, fire retreat each unit except, yeah, so each unit. You don't add it together or anything like that. So this squad has 3 people. They got firepower 2. So they're going to roll. Scored no hits with the infantry. All right, but now I got my pioneers. Their strength 2, and they double their firepower in the assault. They score 1 hit. So they reduce the pioneer unit. Okay, now it's the second turn of the assault. Because the defender fires first, but now they have 1 strength point. That's a morale check to see if they want to stay in the fight. They roll a 4, and their morale is a 6. So very high morale, so they say yeah. But now it's the second turn, so they can decide either to retreat or press the attack. Problem is, they got nowhere to retreat to. Well, this is, I guess they could retreat. They could not retreat here, and they could not retreat here because they're adjacent to enemy units. So that would be contested. Even though they have a company commander here, those two zones of control make that contested. You could argue and say this is friendly because, well, no, because it's adjacent here as well. Essentially, and they're probably going to have a hard, well, there's a bridge there. So they can't retreat. They can't retreat. So they're going to fight. They get one dice roll. And remember, they hit on a 4 because they double firepower. Oh, they did. They scored a 4. So they're going to reduce this attacking squad one more time. Yeah, they're putting up a fierce fight. That's what I was hoping for, put up a fierce fight. Let's do the American squad first. So that's 2 shots, firepower 2. Both miss. Then the engineer has 2 steps, firepower 4. Has 2 more hits. So that does eliminate the engineers. That'd be another victory point. We'll leave them face up, indicating that they're done. Now you can consolidate and they can move into an adjacent friendly hex. I wouldn't say that's friendly, it's just open. I'd have to check movement, right? Hex control. Vacant hexes adjacent to both players. Okay, that's disputed. Well, hexes occupied by friendly units. Units also extend control into adjacent hexes, except those. So if I did a regroup, I guess technically I could move across the bridge. Because adjacent, so adjacent hexes, it says not also adjacent to an enemy would be disputed. So I guess we could regroup across the bridge. So we assaulted through. Why would I do that? Because we're trying to get units off of the map by the end of turn 6, and this is turn 4. So we'll regroup here. They rallied. All right, so we'd be back to the German player. Well, so this is interesting now. This commander has line of sight to this hex here in the open. So if I activate him, the mortars can now bombard, and the only unit that they're going to hit would be these guys here in the open. Okay, now that worked out good for the German player. So fight to the bitter end. So I do need to take those tubes at some point. That's what they're going to do. So he's going to activate, they're going to fire. Now they do have range 3, so that is within range, and they're a bombard unit, so they would potentially friendly fire. They're not in wood, so there's no cover or anything. They're just out in the open after crossing that bridge. So they get 3 attacks, firepower of 5, so they might cause a lot of damage here. Unless you roll 2 10s and a 2. Since these are tied for strength points, I like pioneer units, my engineers, so I'm going to take 1 step off of them. So now that infantry squad is hurt. So they need to get booking. Alright, so that would be the second activation for the German player. So the American player gets 1 more activation with his... You know what? I still cheated, didn't I? I moved this Jeep. How did I move my Pioneer? That's a battalion asset. Oh, just ignore that. Ignore that little fiddly detail. I sometimes forget my Pioneer as a battalion asset, and I got excited and activated and moved him when I should not have. So technically I should not have moved the Jeep. So let's pretend I never moved my Jeep. I'm just trying to think what I can do here. I got a full strength squad. The thing is, I got to move 3 full strength squads north, and these bridges are in play. So I mean, I guess I could just try to bypass, but I don't want to fight. That's the thing. But I've got Germans there. Yeah, but I got to score 2 hits to cause a point of damage. What does it cost to move over river? A river move. Road, tunnel, bridge, ford. A river. No, prohibited. We gotta use the bridge. So I can cross the bridge, pop in here. Dang. So this is clear, so that's gonna be 1 movement point. Bridge. Well, see, we're moving into this is a woods hex. Well, this hex side is clear. So we're gonna cross that at 1 movement point. I gotta move into the city. City is 2. It takes 3 movement points, but there's a road, so that's 2. So that's 4 movement points actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 1, 2? Sorry, because the road makes it 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because 3 movement points for the town, but there's a road, so you subtract 1. I could technically move 1 more here. So we're just going to march these guys around on the road. So they load it up on their little trucks and they're moving. So I'm trying to escape some people north. I need to move, and they're going to rotate. I'm going to do the same thing with these guys. There's no road here, so that's 2 movement points. They're moving together. I'm going to activate them. Where was he? Shoot. I got to move him, deploy him first. Then that makes that valid because, see, he's out of range of command of the platoon, so he'd have to make a morale check. But if I just deploy here, then activate, now I can move these guys. But see, here's the problem. I will overstack, so I'll move 1 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement points. Because this hex site is clear, so that's still just 1 movement point because of the road. But see, there's no road here, so that's 1, 2. This is clear, no road. 3, 4, 5. So I can move both of those squads here, and then he will get a full turn of deployment. So they're there. That's the best we can do. I'm moving that platoon. I'm imagining they popped on trucks and now they're trying to move around, and that's it for their activation. Yeah, I might I'm not play this out right now, but we can come back maybe and explore how the Germans will respond, because the next turn I think that the Americans are just going to drive by. Like, you could stay and fight, but I think I've taken enough German forces out of the way that we're just going to drive on up. But the problem is, that'll be turn 5, and we only really move. I mean, I'm going to have to book up this road. Yeah, I might not have enough turns to actually drive people off the map. We'll see. We'll see. I might. It might be okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. And, if you have any comments, please feel free to share your thoughts on the game, the scenario. And, we'll talk to you later. Thanks again.